Good morning everyone. It's a beautiful November morning and I'm combining two of my favourite things, and that's taking a walk in the forest and getting some exercise and making a YouTube video about photography. Before I go into the examples of when I just happened to come across a fantastic situation or a really special situation and was able to capture it with the camera that I had on me, I'll just explain a little bit about myself. My name is Andrew Balcom. I'm a stock photographer based in the Netherlands, and I make YouTube videos about how to capture stock photography and footage, and how to grow your portfolio with stock agencies such as Shutterstock or Adobe Stock. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, feel free to follow along and subscribe. So the first example I want to talk about just happened the other day while I was in Amsterdam traveling on a tram. And the tram was really crowded, it was chaotic, there'd been really bad weather, but I did happen to have my Canon 70D in my bag. And I just glanced out the window through this crowd of people and I saw a really amazing situation. And that situation was, as the tram passed this shop, I noticed that a truck had crashed into the front of the shop and was sticking out of the front window. So I quickly made a decision to jump off the tram and run to this crash site, and I had a look at it before I even took a photo or video, and I assessed that okay, this was a victimless incident, no one had been injured, so it was just a crazy situation. So what I did was, there were already police there, so I stayed behind the police tape, and it was really low light, so a couple of the shots I had to take with the built-in flash of my Canon. And then I asked the policeman if I could go around the other side of the truck and do some different angles from low and high and panning shots from up and down. And yeah, so that was an amazing situation. I've never seen a truck crash into a shop before, and I don't think many other people have. So I think it'll be a really unique photo and a really unique footage clip for the stock agencies. And I'll just wait for this dude to go past me. Right, well, the gentleman has passed by. We had a nice little chat about me doing this video and him walking his dog. He was very friendly. So where was I? Yeah, that situation is so unique, and I was really lucky that I was at the right place at the right time, and I had my camera. I was able to take good quality raw photos and also good quality footage, which was exposed, and it was really low light, so I was happy that I had a camera with a fairly large sensor rather than just my mobile phone, because the sun still hadn't come up at that stage, so it was going to be really grainy footage, and that kind of stuff is really hard to fix in post with a phone. And with the Canon I didn't even have to reduce noise because I just kept it on a really low aperture. I think it was f4. Anyway, so I got home after that day. A few hours had passed and I wanted to upload the footage quickly, and I was a little bit hasty, so I uploaded it first to Shutterstock. And then I realized that I hadn't stabilized the footage I got, and the next day I got a rejection notice, which was really frustrating. So then I put the footage into Adobe Lightroom. No, I didn't put it into Adobe Lightroom. I put the footage into Adobe Premiere Pro, and then I put warp stabilizer on the footage, and that had a really good smoothing effect. So they accepted the footage straight away, and after that I uploaded the photos. Now my next example is when I was walking on the beach one morning, just randomly getting some exercise, and I came across this northern gannet wrapped in plastic. Now I talk about this shot extensively in my video where I talk about stock photography after 3.5 years. Is it worth it? And I go into how much money I've made, what were my best photos, and what were my conclusions after 3.5 years of doing it. Is it worth it or not? So if you want to check out that video, feel free to do so. It's in my YouTube channel. Yeah, I just happened to have my camera on me at the time, and also my mobile phone. So I managed to take both stills and shaky video with my mobile phone, and I think by the end of this year I'll be earning from that horrible shaky video, which miraculously got accepted by Shutterstock and a few other agencies, close to between $800 and $1,000. And with the photos, I can't remember exactly how much, but on Shutterstock alone I've sold that photo or variants of from different angles over 103 times. Now another example of when it's great just having your camera or your phone with you when you're doing social activities with your family or friends is one day I was walking through the city of The Hague, and I came across this paper bin which was put outside and filled with paper to be collected for paper recycling. And I got a few looks from passers-by as I just photographed this bin. I had my camera with me luckily, and that random photo has just earned me $7.20 on Alamy. It's also sold across the other stock agencies, so I'm sure the amount is higher than $10, but that's just walking past something, pulling out my phone or my camera and snapping it, and then spending 5 minutes to upload it to the dozen or so agencies. Okay. Now another shot I often take in the Netherlands is that of hybrid or electric cars recharging on the street with these plug-in recharge points. And in the Netherlands you have tons of these cars because I think in some cases they're subsidized. And whenever I walk past one of these cars, whether it's a Tesla or a Nissan or a Toyota or whatever that's charging, I'll always take a photo of it. Oh, I just changed hands, it's getting a bit heavy and I'm getting weak and old. Anyway, I always take a photo of these cars when I'm walking past, and of course as I try and carry my camera as much as possible with me so that the chances are high that if I do come across something I'm going to photograph it or video it. And I'll always try and take different kinds of shots of these cars. I'll often try and avoid getting the badge or the number plate in the car, or the brand or the logo of the car, so that I can make it a commercial image. I'll go for wide angle, I'll go for close-ups, and I'll try and get some footage with a bit of motion in it. But just from being in the right place at the right time, I've earned $60 alone from Alamy with these photos, and they've also sold very well on Shutterstock and Dreamstime and iStock. So you know, these situations on the street, if you see them and you don't have your phone or camera with you, then just take note of it so that you can come back another time and capture that when you do have your camera with you. It's always tricky videoing in the outdoors. You always come across people, and if you're a bit self-conscious like me, it kind of disturbs you. And also in the Netherlands there's a high probability that it's going to rain or be windy as well. Just watching that group of walkers was also a good opportunity to get some B-roll for this video. Okay, so that was just a quick one about how carrying a camera with me has earned me more than $1,000 just by being in the right place at the right time. If you are outside, chances are you're going to come across something interesting for other people to use as images or footage for their own needs or their website or their agency. And I just wanted to highlight that carrying a camera, even if it's just your phone, is always the right thing to do if you're a stock photographer. Right, well, I'm just taking some shelter from the rain, and I was walking back home on the street, and I came across these diggers, and I've never seen anything quite like it before. It's kind of like a tracked tank vehicle with a little cabin and a tray in the back. So I think this is an excellent example of having my camera with me and seeing something quite strange and random on the street. Right, well, the weather has come in. It wasn't expected, but always expect the unexpected. And I'll just call an end to this video, and thank you for watching. If you found it interesting or helpful, bang on the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell if you want to see more of my videos. I'll catch you on the next video. Time to get inside, I'm getting wet. See ya!